Okay, hopefully it's got the audio. It should do. I mean, it did it last time, so got a mate of mine as well. He's sitting there, and of course, as I'm busy chatting to you, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox, on the Series X with me and Paul. Yeah, Paul is back. You're likely going to see Paul quite a lot because I think Paul is awesome. And what on earth have you got? Oh my God, it's looking at me. Oh, what the? That is certainly something. Is that a drone?
Yep.
That's without Grid AI, aka as Keen teased recently. It has a proper name, Automaton, or I believe that's it. I don't think it's automation. I think it's automaton or automata. I can't remember because Keen Automata is just like weird. That reminds me of Nier Automata. This is a D-Wolfie one plays, which basically means that anything and everything goes. This is more just a chill stream. Hopefully it doesn't bounce off the Callisto 71. That is quite brilliant. That's really smooth as well.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, imagine that when you've got hold of the new AI, because that new video that they teased the other day, a very brief little video, was pretty amazing.
Yeah, the tracking, the pathfinding. That's what I want for this.
Yeah, the raw pathfinding data off that video. Because a lot of people came to me and said, "Oh, that looks like a new waypoint system." Nope, that's actually raw pathfinding data being shown on the screen. So there's actually probably only 2 waypoints, if none at all. It might have just been told to go fly through that and come back.
Yeah,
it is a pretty absolutely bonkers concept, and that's one of 6 potential AI blocks are in the game as well, and it looked a small drone. That's what got me about it, that it was a small drone flying through the interior of the red ship, which had been slightly modified.
Yeah,
to be able to pathfind, because I've seen your work with your pathfinding using the sensors. And that just looked like a power source, a few blocks, and some thrusters with that AI block, and it was doing all that. That's exciting stuff.
It was quick as well.
And while we don't actually have a date yet, there is the beta for Automaton coming up, or Automata, fairly soon. In fact, I know when was the last time we had a significant update to that beta? Was mods, wasn't it? Way back when they introduced mods to the Xbox. It came to the beta first, and then a little way after we got them on retail, because I remember having to tell people how to download the beta.
It was donkeys ago, wasn't it?
Yep. And I will be doing that again, no doubt. You can rest assured, as if the beta goes live in the next couple of weeks, that me and Paul will be diving on that, trying to find out as much as possible about the features in there, and then doing more Space Engineers. I'll be doing tutorial videos, and Paul will be diving into it and building all sorts of interesting things. And we will get together again on Space Engineers and see what we can do, because this is going to change Space Engineers for good. And I just really love that little drone.
For good and for brilliant.
Yeah. That's the great thing about this game, is it's constantly evolving. You know, it might not be evolving as fast as some people would like, but those are the things. You know, keen. I love that eyeball. It's that's a lot of complex stuff there.
Yeah, I've opened the back up so you can see all the workings.
Yeah, absolutely. Superb. Let's have a nose.
The little one's even more complicated because obviously with it being small grid, you've got less room to play with. So I've had to budget.
So this is this is the workings, is it?
That's how you're doing. What I'll do is I can knock one up.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to build, I'll act as cameraman. If you want to build something in the game, I don't mind at all. It's a pleasure to have you on again since the Star Wars builds, and I definitely want to get you to show off your non-Star Wars mechs that you're working on.
Oh, do you want to see one?
Will it? Have you got all the mods needed in the map to put one in? Oh, nice. Yeah. If you could get it in, mate.
Do you want to be the first one to have a look at this?
Yeah, go on. If
like
this is
up close and personal.
Do you want me to get rid of the C71, or shall we push it and see what the Series X is up to?
No, let's see what happens there.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know me. I've pushed the Series X to over 1.2 million PCU before it crashed.
Oh well, that should be alright then.
Oh, is that Lord Clang?
So Clangy boy himself.
That is terrifying. That's very Faustian, actually. It's that like sort of old Victorian style.
Yeah, well, I based the face on you know, remember the Carry On, not Dick Dastardly,
yeah.
Oh, what was it? Those Magnificent Men and their flying machines and all that.
Yeah, and Wacky Races and things like
that.
Wacky
Races and all that.
Yeah.
The face on that. Because he's the ultimate villain.
He is, and he has claimed many of our builds. For anyone watching and doesn't know Space Engineers, Clang is the name given, either spelt with a K or a C, depending on which version of the game you're on or what you believe, of the deity that we created over time that destroys the things we build. It's the physical forces in the game that interact in such strange ways that basically makes the game, I think, as fun as it is. Because you never quite know when Clang is going to come and claim a build and send it either into high orbit and explode.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is pretty much, you know, my favourite part about the game, because you can mess with those phantom forces. You can play with fire, and that's a great thing. And you can do Clang drives, as we know. You saw my video on Clang drives. That was certainly fun.
Yeah, them things are dangerous.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this Clang in absolute horror, and I am certainly impressed. There's a lot of moving parts as well in this. This is like...
Oh, there's hundreds of...
And again, I've seen your Jaeger, so...
It's not as complicated as that, no.
My God. And the great thing I think about the new update is that it may simplify this particular build a lot. because
Well,
I'm
that's what
sure
I'm
some of the
hoping.
stuff you're doing here will be covered by the custom event controller and the
Yes.
other AI blocks. That pathfinding is astounding. But yeah, this is an impromptu showcase, and I must actually give a shout out to my good buddy Kurt, who's watching the stream at the moment. I can see that he's on the chat in the chat room on the Twitch app on the phone, and so yeah, this is my mate Paul, and Paul builds incredible things on Space Engineers that defy reality. I think it's the best way to describe it. If you've
Certainly
seen the
defies something.
yeah, if you've seen the Star Wars builds, then you know the kind of thing that Paul can make. And as I said, once we hit that magical 2,000 subscribers, yeah, that's going to be something else, because then we'll just release the map with all those Star Wars vehicles on, and anyone on Mod.io and Xbox can download them. There we go. Yeah, Kurt has actually seen the Xbox Star Wars stuff, and Lord Clang is amazing, Paul. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll get shot of him so he doesn't lag out.
Yeah, I don't think Kurt's actually seen my Callisto 71. This is a ship that I actually built. It took me 2 weeks to build this particular ship, and I built this while I was recovering from full-blown COVID a couple of years ago, and it was one of the biggest, most complex things in Space Engineers I've ever built, because it has a lot of moving parts and things it does, and it is fully realised inside as well. There's a proper interior in this ship.
You should get yourself in and show them around.
Yeah, you can follow me into the belly of the beast.
Right,
What I love about it as well is I had a load of fun. Just hopefully this doesn't blow up, because Clang could happen, because we're running some mods that the Callisto doesn't use, like the 1000% gyros. Although it does use the tiered gyros mod.
Does it? I might be alright then.
I might be okay. As long as I don't move it, I think I'll be okay. So this is the back, and when you land this thing on the ground, you can bring the lift down. And then
right.
we've got the.
Your door.
It took ages to design the look of this as well. It took me ages to work out the stairs and the struts on this, because this is based on a Star Wars Nest class freighter from one of the RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
If I open up this, we should be able to go on board, and because we're in atmosphere, we won't have to worry about depressurizing or anything. So, although we can follow the procedure, just to show the airlock in it. So on the interior airlock, we have a tour of the ship. There's my little Scout, and you can actually fly this little Scout out through that gap. There's just enough room to fly that little Pulse Scout out through those doors in space or otherwise, although it's advisable not to do it in space, because you'll depressurize this entire area. So from here, we have controls for the exits and the door protocol, which basically, if I remember rightly, the door protocol closes all the doors and preps the thing. There's airlock vents, the lights, so we can turn the lights on and off, and we can swish the locks on the chargers as well. So these things here. And then if we go into the back of the ship, we have my engine room.
Oh, that's a lot of gyros.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to be moving.
Yeah, I don't even want to tap the stick once, not with those, because they are the those are the tiered ones, I think, as well.
This console mod's mental.
Colt Command Console. You might notice that the textures drop in and out, and unfortunately that's a bug with Space Engineers at the moment on the Series X and S, where the texture memory is slightly broken, so you'll get blurry textures at some point. But yeah, so you've got all the console controls. I've got backup hydrogen generators there so that I can run them off various things. Emergency battery power is what they are. I can use the hydrogen tanks.
You sound mint when they switch on.
Yeah, they start running. Let's see if I can put emergency battery power on. It's been ages since I've been on this ship, actually. Sometimes they don't work, as we know with hydrogen engines. Let me just look and see. They don't animate. There we go. There you are. I just did it manually. You see the pistons moving inside the interior. And I love the fan as well, when you've actually got one freestanding at the front that spins.
Yeah.
And so what we've got on this as well is a hidden little control room. So you've got all this here, and this is the interface block, which I did a mod showcase on as well. That's absolutely wicked. Thanks, Kurt. I'm briefly just stopping just to check the chat, because I don't always check the chat, but I've got it on running on my phone. Yeah, it took a bit to work out how to build this, actually. If we go up here on this ladder, what's behind here is a little emergency control room in case the main control bridge gets damaged. And so we've got my reactors up here. And again, you've got if you can't get up using the ladder, just pop the jetpack. Oh, that reminds me as well while I'm at it. Let's see. Let's remember where it is now. Been a bit. Players. If ever you play multiplayer with a friend and you want to give your friend permissions on your server, just move down to the players menu, go to their name, hit promote, and you'll see you can get them up to admin status. So there you go. Right, so what we've got here then is the reactor setup with the interface block, because I absolutely love that mod. We need more blocks like this, Paul, for greebling ships and just putting detail on. So yeah, so we've got our little control here. Look, emergency pilot control. The neons, which I fell in love with after a while, once Keen made them light up properly rather than just basically emissive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt, Paul is far more skilled than I am. His builds are just, as they say, off the chain. Paul thinks beyond engineer into the realm of near impossibility. Right, so if we come through here, I'll continue the tour of the Callisto 71 through into the midsection, which is through any of these two doors. If the door shuts on you, it's on that timer block thing, because we don't have the auto door script yet. We might be able to do something with the event controller when that comes up. So yeah, so you've got your little workspaces with all the little... These shelves were a good addition as well.
Oh, they're nice, aren't they?
I had a problem with this originally. It was hilarious. I'd put them in the wrong way up, so all the lettering was at the top.
I've done it myself.
And if you go up there, you can get to like the thrusters and things, and sort of like repair them if any damage happens. So that's kind of like the Jeffries tubes in a way.
Oh yeah.
So you've just got like
nice compact.
There's nice little compact, lots of regular tubes. But I did use a bunch of mods on this thing. There's a lot of mods. And then this is actually my favourite bit coming up now. One of my favourite bits of the ship.
Where are you?
Is just going up the stairs, just there.
Oh, got you.
Up these big stairs, and then if we come off here to the right or the left, this is the mess hall.
Ah, yes.
The requisite thing that's required in a mess hall.
Where's the bar?
You've got the bar, sort of. You've actually got like the self-serve cooking and bar here with the Clang Cola. And also up here you've got the jukebox.
Right.
You've got the showers, etc. And you got like all the armoury at the top. And the most important room on the ship, the head,
the bog,
the toilets,
the bog,
and the jump drives are next to the toilets. Don't ask me why. I'm sure the radiation is probably a bit of a problem, but well,
when they do say you've got to be sitting down when the jump drive kicks off. So
that's it. So
way better.
You get you get a certain effect when the jump drive goes. Yeah. So as long as you're sitting down, you're good. You won't be left in space when the jump drive goes. And that's the most important thing with space engineers. Cheers, Kurt. And then, of course, there's before we go up the stairs to the main command neck. Actually, there's two places. There's cryo and med bay. So there's the cryo and med bays. Again, Colt command consoles, all the cryopods. I think I've got the requisite 8 because Xbox Series X can support 8 players in multiplayer.
I didn't know that.
Does 4. I know the OG Xbox does 4. Well, not the OG Xbox, the Xbox One even. No, the OG Xbox wouldn't at all handle this. It would explode. And then there's the Cargo Bay 1 and 2, which are linked together. Using a lot of Azimuth mods on here. Big shout out to SE Modder and crew. As I always say, Azimuth mods are some of the best, and those are the Azimuth cargo containers. I did a mod showcase on those. Those are absolutely brilliant. They look superb. They've got an incredible amount of detail on them. And yeah, I fell in love with those. So we've got a refiner, assembler, and then through here we've got the exact same. So if you want to go through to the right, we've got the exact same setup. All the air venting, it's all pressurized inside, so you know there's a lot oxygen, etc, etc. And then finally up to the neck and in, so here, and you can actually access cargo controls from these little interface panels. And then there's, as long as I don't touch the right stick, the ship itself. This is using the Azimuth thrusters that come with the Azimuth Remastered pack that make it look a bit like a flying space heater. But honestly, I don't mind. I'm kind of tempted just to tilt the slick slightly, just to see what it does. Oh, that's not too bad, actually, because the Callisto 71 is a very heavy ship. So that's not too bad. And it does do everything it says on the tin. It goes to space. It has its own set of crazy amounts of door open and close controls and other such wonders. I have timer blocks on it, and you name it. It's got thrust overrides. All the good stuff is literally mapped to all the controls. I'm just flicking through the panel for people at the moment so you can see just how many controls are on here. There's like a low power mode as well, which is pretty cool. I'd make sure it was landed though at that point, because that would be bad. Yeah, low power mode basically turns all the lighting. It turns the ship into recharge. It turns all the lighting on inside into purple. So you get that kind of emergency power setting. And yeah, it can get into space. And I've tested it both in... I've actually tested it in survival, and it makes its way there without a problem. Yeah, so that's the Callisto 71. I've never really done a proper showcase on this ship, but there it is. And I know you've only ever seen it on videos, so you've now been one of the few people who've actually walked around the inside of it on one of my games.
A big ship.
It's not bad. The Century Eagle was just is so tiny compared to this now.
Definitely.
The first little ship I built, in a way. But yeah, so that's the C-71. So we'll. Actually, I don't need to cycle the airlocks. I keep on forgetting that I'm actually in. One thing that I might do at some point is I may replace these old hangar doors with those ones with the window in that they brought out in.
Yes.
In the one update, because they do look pretty mint.
Yeah, they're nice ones.
Yeah, so that is the Callisto 71. And it does come in different variants. You can't get the Space Heater variant on Mod.io, but you can get the regular thruster variant, the Pulse Drive, Torch Drive, even. The Torch Drive version and the old landing gear version alongside the other version, which has the Ganymede maglevs.
Yeah.
I can't remember if the other version has the Ganymede maglevs and the new reactor. So I suppose what I could do is I could cut this version out and put the other version in, see if I can paste it in. Or we could go mad and try and put the Ganymede maglev version side by side and push the PCU even more. It's actually not a massive PCU hungry ship, to be fair. I think that's the maglev one. Yeah, that's the maglev one. Make sure I do this right. I'm going to paste it in anywhere within this space. Please don't explode. There she is. Now it will recalculate all the lighting. Unless you've... Did you change the time?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the thrusters.
Yes! It looks good at night, doesn't it?
Yes.
A big shout out to the Skybox, the REM, I think it's REM E71 or something like that, by Six Dice.
That's nice, isn't it?
Six Dice being an absolute god of Skyboxes. I adore that Skybox. It makes some great screenshots when you're doing stuff for the promotional on Mod.io.
Yes.
But yeah, if I turn my torch off, you can see the sheer beauty of the space heater thrusters. If you're feeling cold, just come and stand near the screen, because it'll warm you right up. If you look at it, I love those thrusters. The power on them is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, the torch drive's good as well. I will give, I first found those, and then I did the torch drive video where I compared the two. And that's where my crappy little rocket came from, if you remember that one all those years ago.
Yeah.
At least a couple of years, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Let's put that down. Because I can't remember. I was playing around one day, and one version of this does actually have those new hangar doors, but I don't think it's this one. No, it's not. Let's have a look, see what the power system in here is. Actually, again, don't need to worry. It also looks amazing inside when you've got the thrusters on, because it lights up the interior.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure why it does that, but I think it's just a thing with space engineers. Let's have a look. Is it? Yeah, this has got the azimuth reactors on it compared to the tiered ones. These are this is the different reactor bank. If you come round the back to the reactors themselves, yeah, this has got the azimuth fusion reactors, and there's a lot. I just packed the entire space pretty much with as many as I could fit in, because well,
good detail on them, like.
Yeah. And I don't think those are the remastered ones either. I think those are just like the ones that came out. I'd need to replace the whole reactor set with the ones that they did on remastered, I think. Yeah, that's the 71 with its maglev gear. And what I did with that is I had to build a little cushion system. If you come back out of it and down to the ground. Oh, it's the different gear. It's not the Ganymede. It's the mag plates. I swapped the Ganymede ones out because I think there was a bug with the Ganymede that stopped them working. So I redid all the landing gear and I made these feet with the mag plates on. But if you look at the side here, I've got like a little wheel ×1. And when you're in the cockpit of this thing, you can drop like the landing system down, and it will drop those little things down to cushion just beneath those, so Clang doesn't rip them to pieces.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a while. Right, let's get rid of that one for now. Leave my space heater version in, because... right, so we've had a look at my thing. Right, what do you want to show me on... Because obviously one of the things we wanted to do, let's just bring the sun back.
Yep.
As much as we can. Because it doesn't really... Hold on, let's go back the opposite way. Doesn't really reach as much as it should. Hold on, almost. There we go. Magical time controls. This is is this the eye mechanism?
The eye mechanism, aye. Aye. Dear me. Wow. Right.
I'm blown away
What I'll do
already
is-
just by looking at it. The sheer audacity of what you've accomplished there. Custom turret controller, sensor, Shastal's rotors, yeah?
Yeah.
Good old Shastal's rotors. One of the few rotor mods that lets you walk down the middle of a rotor.
Yeah. I haven't used that yet.
Good
I've
for
looked at it,
good
but I
for
haven't
Babylon
used
5
it.
style Earthgov ships. I think it was.
It's well, I do like the rotors because of the size.
Yeah.
They're exactly one block, so you don't have to align things. You don't have to mess around with anything. It's just there.
It's amazing. What we'll have to do is I don't know if you've done it or not, but you should definitely pop up a tutorial on how to build something like this, because that is skill.
But
So creepy as well.
I'll
I
rip
love
it
it.
apart so you can have a look at the actual mechanism. If any devs see this, because I think we should have non-collision blocks in
Oh,
Space
yeah.
Engineers.
I'll tell you what we should have as well. A Greebling set. I would love a pack. You know how they did that last community update? If Keen Software House sees this, actually they will, because I'll just throw this to Erin anyway, because I always send him the videos because he's always interested, obviously. But yeah, we need a Greebling pack. We want to be able to greeble our ships like nobody's business, and all our corridors and things. But yeah, we need a non-collision block to hide our sneaky mechanisms. That is incredible.
There you go. That's the mechanism.
That's your...
Oh, forgot to take the pupil out.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the pupil, and that is...
There we go. Pupil's off now.
So it's a camera.
Yep. It's a camera.
Sensor. With a custom turret controller.
Yep.
And of course, the custom turret controller controls rotors, and it controls hinges.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can trick the thing into basically acting like a follow drone. But instead of it being a free moving thing, it's on a rod so that it moves the eyeball.
Yep.
See, that is why it's called Space Engineers.
Well, that's how I've done my joints as well on the clank. Oh.
Yeah, the Lord Clank.
It's crashed.
Oh no!
Is yours still going?
Yeah, mine's still going. So I'll just give you an invite back in. I'm not surprised it crashes at some points, because we are doing things with it that's beyond the pale. I'll just give you another invite in a sec. Just let me know when you spin Space Engineers up again. This is what happens.
It's up high.
This is what happens when you play games raw when you're streaming. This can happen. It's rare though. I mean, the first time, but then again, we weren't majorly pushing the boundaries of what we could do.
Oh, I were being very naughty.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll pull out the Callisto 71 as well, just in case. Will give us a bit more breathing room. But just let me know when you've...
Just kicking in now.
Kicking in, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that is really clever to stick the pupil on a rod on it. That's Shastal's hinges and rotors again, isn't it?
Yep, Shastal's hinges. It's just the rotors I'm using at the minute, because obviously
rotors, yeah.
With them being one block, I don't have to align anything.
Yeah.
Because your eyelids have got to be overlapping perfectly.
Yeah.
And with them being one block, it does it. I don't have to muck about because I had to spend ages trying to get them sorted in back rooms because I've got an eye in back rooms, but I haven't used the rotors.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Am I in?
Ah, you're back. There we go.
Champion. Now the little one is even more complicated.
Yeah.
That's
still incredible. I like how you're using the neons as a gantry as well. That's actually, again,
it's
a
all
clever
to do with collision.
Yeah, because of the collision on the neons is not there, is it?
Nah. This is your little one. As you can see, the mechanism's in the back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the front so people can see it. That is, again, incredible.
And on the little one, it's the whole eyeball that moves, not just the pupil.
Yeah.
And as I've really had to fudge this.
Yeah.
I can
see it like.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Clang alert.
Hold on. I took one of the.
Took one of the thrusters off.
Aye, come back. Stop it. Damn it. Right. Get rid of that.
That is what you call a sacrifice to Lord Clang.
Yep. It was it wasn't waiting round like.
Oh, King's flat reaction thrusters. Yeah. Those are good.
Oh, love them.
Yeah, big shout out to Monster King and Azimuth for just their sheer audacity of modding skill.
And as you can see, if any devs are watching, the blocks from plane parts, the tube blocks, got no collision. They've got funny attach points though.
Yeah.
Which is the issue I've got when building these, because the attach points, with them being funny, I've got to fudge it.
Yeah.
But this is the sort of thing you can do. I mean, if anyone likes organics, brilliant for organic stuff. This.
Yeah.
If you've got no collision on your blocks, you can build organic features.
Well, that's it. If you can, I mean, what would be brilliant is if we could somehow have, like I said, a pack of blocks that have, a cosmetic function but no collision, so we can use them to say like cover up all sorts of interesting things in the game to make the builds more organic looking or more intriguing. Oh, is that plane parts again as well?
Yeah.
Plane parts. The tube covers. Yeah, I can see where they just don't interact, do they? They just literally.
And that's the obviously the
mechanism.
I've deleted the block that was holding these because with the block being invisible, it's hard to delete it. But the little one, see the rotors for the lids.
Yeah.
Because of the size of it and the collision and that, I've had to put them on the outside.
Yeah.
But the connection point for the lids is I'll show you. Hold on. Where's it gone? Let's get one of these up. So if you get a 3x3, now it goes green when it can connect, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm looking at? So I can put it flat on like that, which is no good because I need it to turn.
Yeah.
So what you would do is you would think you would put it that way and just connect it directly onto the the rotor, but doesn't connect that way.
No.
It connects that way. So you would have to put it on the rotor that way. Hold on, let's take this gizmo off. So it would have to go like that.
Yeah.
See? So thinking about your collision and everything like that, you've got to build all of this out so you can connect it the right way. So,
It's like I said, it puts the engineers in Space Engineers, mate.
yeah, you're literally building like scaffolding just to hold one block, so it'll turn the right way.
So if we had like non-collision blocks that could do that, that would simplify things, I think, drastically.
It would do the job. Like, in that other one, the is it still up there?
Is that your little silver mech that little silver thing was flying around somewhere? I'm not sure where it's disappeared off to.
Oh, it's had away, isn't it? Because it's got no pathfinder. It'll follow you.
I think it has landed upside. It looks like a Dalek. Here it goes.
Yeah. Well,
it was upside down.
I'll show the internals of that because obviously it's all hidden now.
Yeah. Again, this is from the plane parts pack as well, isn't it? Because that outer bit is like a turbine.
Yeah. So if we take that off.
Oh yeah.
You've got. Hold on. I'll fasten it into the ground. Stop it spinning round like a.
That's it. Grab it and stick it there.
Right. Oh, I stuck it in sideways. What a noob. Oh, now, if you're using plain parts and you're using the non-collision blocks, if you use wood and you turn it red, you get that muscle look.
Yeah, looks like the kind of weird eye, like you were using on the heart with the Lord Clang.
Yeah, yeah, it's like tendons and muscle and stuff like that. Get a good effect.
Yeah, it does.
Right, see if I can get rid of some of this so you can see the workings without deleting it. Because it's really messy. It's disgusting how I built this, I tell you.
It works.
I'd be ashamed of myself.
You know, that's the thing. If it works.
Oh, it worked. Well, there you can see that. Oh, these blocks are serious.
It's like, I mean, I wish I'd have been well enough to do the video of the Callisto 71 being built, because the build on that was like 2 weeks of solid day in, day out work on Space Engineers, going from just like that front cockpit down the neck and then expanding the thing into an internal space and then filling that space. But I mean, there are a few screenshots on Mod.io that show its sort of previous stages.
See if I can do this well, deleting the actual rods.
Yeah.
Oh, get rid of that.
And again, that is a lot of complex design to think on that level. I don't know really anyone else on Space Engineers who builds like this, who creates such complex and detailed machinery, you know, with unique solutions to, you know, the problems that we have on the game where we don't have certain things that work. So you have to MacGuffin things and make stuff that, like, my stuff is obviously like the basic stuff, but you're still engineering solutions of how to do one thing and another. But this is like proper engineering on a block budget, I suppose, the best way to describe it. It's using what you've got to its best
Yeah.
advantage. So yeah, you know, mate, I take my hat off to you in that regard. It's amazing to see the internals of something like this.
Yeah, if we had some blocks like that,
We'd be
we could
laughing.
build
So
some
yeah, keen.
oh, you could build some
We
funky
would love
stuff.
non-collision blocks. Maybe we'll have to sit down at some point with someone from Keen, like Erin, and explain stuff to them. Paul,
Right.
in a chat, we just literally sit there and talk to them about non-collision blocks.
Let's give you an example here. How much time do you spend building thruster casings?
I can take quite a while, yeah.
It,
You mean like
it
never works, does it? Because there's always space.
Oh, there's gaps, and when you're getting close, you can see the gaps and all the ugly bits and stuff like that. So you've got that. The best you can hope for is building right out like that, and then building like a circular sort of thing like that. And you're gonna have gaps.
Yeah, because if
you get one of these,
yeah, go on. I'm just gonna throw some blocks down.
If you get one of these tubes, right?
Yeah.
You stick that there, and you stick that there, and then you get the rounded part. Stick that there.
Plain parts.
Right?
Absolutely superb.
You can either leave that open using the rounded part again, so you've got like just a tube, but it covers the thruster. Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah.
And it looks smart.
Yeah, I mean, you could build off the side of that, and you could make two of those, and then you've got the makings of a ship right there with rounded thrusters on the back of it. You know, get four of those, and you're starting to look a bit like the sort of the stuff you see in Star Wars again.
Exactly. And you're looking at.
Yeah, because otherwise we're left with a really clunky method. I mean, if you want to put that thruster back how it is, we could show exactly that for people who build, who are new to it. You are literally, let me bring my horribly yellow-coloured blocks out of retirement. You're literally left with solutions like this to make a casing from. So it's like sort of things like this, and there's always, as Paul says, these gaps here.
That gap, and that gap's an absolute nightmare.
Then you know, if you want to try
and you've got to build way past the thruster to fill that gap in.
Yeah, because if you do this, it might go across the top. I can't. It might. But still, you'll get gaps all the way around this thruster, and it's like, if you look,
yeah,
you're left with those horrible things in the middle. So if we had something to even that just slotted in there that had no collision,
yeah, it would take the gap off.
Even like,
because then you can
the armored panels that we've got here, like if we had non-collision panels, you could just patch over the top of gaps.
Yeah,
that would be an amazing thing. I don't know if there's any modders out there that could release like a block pack that has no collision to it.
Oh, that would be a dream.
Maybe I'll have a word with the SE modder if I can catch him and see or not.
If you can just get rid of them gaps. I mean, obviously, these thrusters themselves have got the lovely wiring and stuff on the sides and that. But a lot of the time you want the thrusters hidden away into the body of the ship. If you're building something from like a film, something like that, the thrusters are always inside the ship.
Yeah, that's it. They always look,
don't they?
They always look neat. I mean, it's like with my see if I've actually got a version of it without any shooty bang bangs on it. There you go. The Sargasso.
Yeah.
When I built that, I specifically had to think for a lot of the thrusters, I wanted them in the interior of the ship.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, this is a good example here at the back. I had to, you know, think outside the box to come up with thruster cowlings at the back of the Sargasso to fit those Ganymede, not Ganymede, sorry, Gemon thrusters from Monster King. And yeah,
well, you could have just done that, couldn't you?
Yeah, the plain parts work really, really well to cover up things like that.
See, just that one casing, you've got no gap in it. It sinks nicely into the armor you've already put in,
yeah,
so it
because
looks
it's got no
like
collision. So
yeah,
it's
and
like
it looks
really, really good.
It looks like it's been nicely designed and put in there, and it's.
Yeah, it's like if you look at the side ones as well, you can probably do the same with like the circular plane parts on the side thrusters around the ship.
Yeah, well, you've got a
hide...
3 times, and you've got a 1 times. So you've got a 1 block size, and you've got a 3 block size.
Yeah.
So you can cover that. Well, that's the thing. Because of the way it attaches, you can't.
Yeah, it'll be a royal pain in the ass to do.
Because the attachments on these are funny.
Yeah.
So it's scuppered.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because that would have been. So you would have to find a way to fudge it so the attachments were in the right place. Are you using heavy armor on this?
I think it's light because it was built in creative. On the it was how to build a large grid ship. So yeah, I was using the light. Because it was just basically a how to build a ship. If you remember, it had that old cockpit on the front that was like just the industrial cockpit, and then I remodeled the whole thing to a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
When they brought out those inverted bridge windows with warfare.
Yeah.
So, I really did like the idea of that. It worked quite well.
Well, yeah, I think all your ships work well, didn't it?
Eventually, right, let's just get rid of that. So we claw back the PCU. Not as though we need to, really, because we're both running on the X. But yeah, I mean, that's it. What we want is those collision blocks. And that would be absolutely fantastic.
And obviously we need a pathfinding on this drone here.
Oh yeah.
So then you can build you can do a tunnel through that mountain over there.
Yeah.
And you can take the tunnel up to your base, and it'll just fly through the tunnel. Instead of having to fly all the way in the air.
It should be absolutely amazing, because we should literally be able to have them fly into hangars and out again, because the pathfinding does it all.
And also with the pathfinding, if you think about it, you can set a drill ship off somewhere over yonder.
Oh yeah.
And have it come to your base, or drilling a hole on the way.
Yeah, the reason it's doing that, by the way, is because we're running the 1000% gyro mod, and so those gyros are vanilla. So they're literally going, oh my god, and overcompensating. I'd need to turn the power down to about 1 to get them to work.
Aye.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
It served the purpose for what we wanted to do, which was just basically do like about an hour's worth of free building and talking on Space Engineers in a DeWolfie one plays, and I think we've achieved that. Actually, it's just gone 60 minutes, so
Excellent.
We're probably best to thank everybody for watching this, who's watched it, and thank anybody for watching it later on when I put it up on YouTube. It'll take a bit to process this video, and we will be back again for definite as we get closer and closer to the beta for Automata. We'll definitely be firing up Space Engineers and finding out what we can do with it. I mean, if it came out in the next couple of weeks, then yeah, definitely. I mean, if it came out within the next week, I would probably think about doing a collab stream again, Paul, on the Sunday next week.
And if it came out in 10 minutes, I'd be very happy.
So would I. I think a lot of people play Space Engineers would, and I do have a feeling, because they're saying beta, the only or rather the way that you'll get it is like we did with the mods originally. Just download the demo/beta version. If you've already got the game, the chances are that's already in your list. Obviously, if you've been using it before, it'll be there, and it'll just update when they release this update. Then we can play around with it, see what works, what bugs are there, and give feedback of what we like, and so on and so forth. Then for the full release, they'll be forewarned and forearmed about any potential problems that might break the game, because this is a big one. It's going to have lots that could potentially go wrong, which is why I'm glad they're going to do this beta after all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's about all we've got time for. So, in the words of the my God, Paul has brought yet another thing in. Okay, got a little bit more time. Go on, run this mad thing. You would definitely have gone well in the Victorian automata age, because they were obsessed with automatons.
Oh yeah, I would have loved to have a...
And they did some amazing things.
Just to talk to some of the people I used to build them, that would be a mint.
Yeah, to be able to pick their brains and say, where did you come up with this idea? But yeah, I think that's all we're going to do. So thank you very much again, and I will see you in the next one. So it's good night from me, or rather good day from me, and good day from Paul.
Him,
if you want to use that, yeah. I wasn't sure whether or not we get copyright strike for that one. You never know in this day and age.
Oh yeah, true.
Right. I will catch everybody later. Thank you very, 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 very much. Stay tuned for even more absolute brilliant Space Engineers. Bye.